they get a development fund which is equivalent to around 5 crores per year, if I'm not wrong. What is the job of an MP?
If you have an issue that is important, send a copy to your MP, frame it in a way that he can ask the question in Parliament, and see if he can ask, if he does ask, that will help you. So it's not just our job to vote, but also try to enforce that our issues are being heard in Parliament.
Hello and welcome to Loktantra Chats. I am Prasanna Naidu and with me is Advocate Rahul Deodhar. And today we are going to talk about what all things you should consider before voting. So firstly, let's start with this. What does an MP mean? What is the job of an MP, etc.? Should I blame it on an MP and the central government if the gutter is overflowing or our roads have many potholes? What do you think, Rahul sir?
Yes, that is one of our pet peeves, and we have, seen this. There is a lot of garbage in the street, all because of Modi. The Prime Minister is directly responsible for, not collect, the lack of collection of garbage in your street. So these are the common mistakes that many people make, and particularly encroachments and all these kinds of things, which are local issues, they are conflated with what are national issues. So if you look at the national elections which are going on currently, you have to understand that there are limited uh, issues that an MP can tackle which affect you directly. That does not mean that they don't affect you; they affect you, but
Yeah.
The range of issues is quite different, and the source of this comes from our constitution, where there are three lists. One is the central list, then there is a state list, and there is a common list. So basically, there are certain issues which are the purview of the central government. There are certain issues that are purview of the state government. Actually, there is another aspect which is purview of the local municipal government, which is not in the list. And then there are some issues which are common issues that can be dealt with by center and state.
Basically, there are these three lists which say that
exactly
this is the work of the state government, this is the work of the central government, and these are the topics where both the governments can make laws on, right?
Make laws, yes. And when you look at your own person, like your own family, your own house, there are three governments which are acting on you. One is the local government, which is the city, municipal council or municipality or whatever is your, local town administration. Then there is a state administration, and there is a national administration.
Right.
So these three are acting on you, and each have their own rights and their own responsibilities. So, for example, garbage in your street is the responsibility of your municipal council or municipality or BMC if you are in Mumbai. However, issues like policing are responsibility of the state government, and issues like borders, army, missile control, control of nuclear power plants, those are the responsibility of the central government. When it comes to roads, there are three different roads within your own jurisdiction. There are national highways, which are responsibility of the central government. There are state highways, which are responsibility of the state government. And there are municipal roads, which are responsibility of your local municipality.
Right.
There are also roads within if you have a large society, then within the society, those roads are your own responsibility. Those are called private roads. So there are all sorts of different regulations. So for example, if you have, let's say, a society which has got 20 buildings or something like that, and there are roads in between inside the compound wall of your society which connect between the buildings, whatever is the repair of that road comes from your own society fund. Once you cross the gate, the road that connects you to your city roads and the city roads, they are all responsibility to the municipal council. So if there are potholes there, that comes from your taxes, municipal taxes.
Right.
Okay. When you go and go on the city roads and you meet a state highway, Let's say
Hmm.
you're traveling between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai,
Hmm.
or you're traveling between, some of these cities and their suburbs. Sometimes you encounter a state highway.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then that state highway comes from a tax you pay to the state government. Okay. Now I'll
Hmm.
tell you how you pay tax to the state government. And then if you're going on national highway or you're going on a expressway or tolled road, those come from their own national highway kitty.
Okay. Okay.
So now how does your municipal taxes, how do you pay your municipality? Through property tax, primarily.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Through license fees for shops and establishments. How do you pay your national government? Through income tax and sales
Right.
tax.
Hmm.
And a share of that sales tax is given to the state government, because state government also has a share in that sales tax. So these are the revenues and they control.
Also, the
Now,
toll
how
we
do
pay,
they
right?
control? Yeah, for roads, yes, the tolls we pay also, they go into the national kitty,
Hmm.
depending on which toll road is it.
Right.
So then all these taxes are administered by the legislature at that level. So central government administers the taxes and creates infrastructure benefits for you. State government does that for state taxes, and the mayor and his municipal council, they elected municipal council who has the mayor as the head for operationalizing that. They
Hmm.
operate at the city level.
Right.
So holdings of all in the cities, they are the municipal corporation.
Hmm.
That's not a state government.
Hmm.
But what is the GST on particular state GST? That is state rule. What is the central GST? That is central rule. Okay. Now, who controls these governments? Our MPs in the center, which is member of parliament, member of legislative assembly, which is the state government, which MLAs, they control the state kitty, and your different nomenclatures exist. Councillors is called general nomenclature, which is your municipal councillors.
Nagar
They
Sevak
control
in,
the
yeah,
city,
in
Nagar Seva.
Maharashtra.
So,
Hmm.
so they control the city kitty.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, how do they control? They control through a process called finance bills. But most of our MPs and MLAs or legislative council members, they don't understand finance bill. They only understand finance.
Hmm.
Okay. So it's a separate issue.
Hmm.
But the point what we have to do is, so when we go to vote, we are voting essentially as to who is going to control this kitty and what are they going to give us in return for the taxes that we pay.
Right.
Right. So now when you come to the person who is going to be your representative, so there are many more considerations, because, first of all, if the center or state or whatever uh, forum has to address your issue, your issue has to be known in that forum. Suppose I have an issue, certain, whatever is the problem, someone needs to highlight that problem. Your representative that is his job to highlight your problem. Suppose it's your personal problem, then he doesn't have to worry. But if it's a government problem which has to be addressed, like suppose you don't have a job or you have a job, your boss is saying, then that is not a problem. Traffic police has given you a challan, that is not the problem, to be calling MP or MLA
Hmm.
or even anyone. You have to pay
Hmm.
the fine.
Hmm.
Not that, Sai benches hi bola. That is the kind of mindset we have. So that doesn't work. But if you have, like, let's say there is garbage, there is cleanliness issue, there is lack of trees, then those are the issues that need to be raised with the relevant forum. And that forum, your representative, your MP, MLA, or councillor has to raise those issues. Most of the time, what happens? Who is your councillor? We don't know. Who is your MLA? We don't know. Who is your MP? We don't know. We only know Modi. And we know who is the chief minister. And sometimes we know who is the mayor. Okay. And then we say ki Modi is responsible for this, chief minister is responsible for this, and mayor is responsible for this, which is also very good, because at least you know the three different people are responsible for what you're doing. But there is still a lot more granularity that is required.
So, but these are the like hierarchy of the like work division and all. And the three governments with whom we kind of converse in our day-to-day lives, like subconsciously. But if we are like voting for a candidate as an MP of our constituency, before that, can you just tell us in short, like what is the job of an MP, of a MP, like a member of parliament? What does his work do? Because most of us don't know. One thing which is quite surprising, like people, most of us don't know, is that they get a fund or MP lads scheme, under MP lad scheme, uh, local area development scheme. They get a development fund which is equivalent to around 5 crores per year, if I'm not wrong, which counts to 25 crores every call this
Yeah,
every
every
term,
term.
like in 5 years, 25 crores. So they have to spend this amount in their area for the development of their area, and submit its report. So there is a website from where you can also track this, that how much fund they got, how much is utilized, how much is unutilized. And to my surprise, and to everyone's surprise, most like there are many MPs and there are many funds which are allocated but not used. Like most of the fund is not used. So uh, shed some light on this. Like, what is the job of an MP?
So, you are absolutely right. In fact, I think you have done some work on these issues few years back, where you
Hmm.
tracked some of these funding issues of MPs and what is the actual work they did in Mumbai.
Hmm.
I think it was long back when you did some
Yeah.
RTI activism that time,
Yeah, long.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that is exactly what is important. So an MP has got various responsibilities in the parliament. So first of all, you have to understand the nature of Indian democracy. So Indian democracy is not an individual member's democracy, it is a party democracy.
Hmm.
So your MP first job is to vote on different bills that the government comes out with, and usually he votes in line with what his party is voting.
Hmm.
So suppose you have a BJP government and your MP is not a BJP supporter, then he will vote against the bill, even though that bill may be in favor of his constituency. So this is first role of the MP. And first role of the MP is to vote on various bills in line with his party. Now, how the party ensures that he is voting in line is there is a person called a whip in the parliament. Every
Hmm.
party has a person designated, saying this person is the whip of the party. So what does the whip do? Whip doesn't mean he lashes everyone, but in crude terms, he does. So
Hmm.
he sends out a message saying that everyone has to be present on during the voting of this particular bill. Then
Hmm.
everyone has to be present. If he
Yeah.
issues a
Otherwise,
whip
he'll
that
whip.
everyone will come and vote against this bill, then everyone in that party has to vote against this bill. Otherwise, he will
Whip.
whip them. That's the basic, it's a joke. But yeah, if you don't vote against that bill, or if you don't follow your whip, you may be removed from the party.
Hmm.
So that is the counter. Basically, that is the stick versus the cat. There is no carrot. Carrot means you get the ticket. So this whip is, so you have to vote on various bills.
Hmm.
Secondly, it is the job of the MP to raise the issues from his own constituency. For
Hmm.
that, he has to raise parliamentary questions. So you will have MPs asking questions about various schemes, about various issues. Those questions are raised in order to expose the issues or address the issues that he is facing in his constituency.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Then third is where he can do a members bill. Suppose there is
Private
a
members bill.
particular issue which is prevailing across India. Okay, because he's an MP. Member of Parliament means national. So there is a national issue which is prevailing all over the country, and he has thought about it. Nobody is bringing it on, in the floor on the house. So he can draft a bill, and he can, uh,
Propose it.
raise something called as members private bill. Okay. Now this members bill or private bill is usually then, suppose it is accepted. Generally it is not, but suppose it is accepted, then it is redrafted by a drafting committee, which is the proper way to draft a bill. And then, it is voted on in a normal course of time or normal procedure of the parliament. So this is the three roles. Then apart from that, he has to work on development of his constituency. So these three roles are roles in the parliament. Okay. Then his other role is role in the constituency. So in the constituency, he has to do two kinds of roles. First is actual development. He has to monitor of central development. So he is the sort of a representative of the central or parliament, not central government, but parliament. So whatever is the government doing, central government doing in whatever is relevant. Suppose there is a road being built, national highway being built through his constituency, then he has to ensure that national highway is being built, and all his people in his constituency are fairly compensated, and the road is properly demarcated, and there is fencing and all that, whatever is the process is being followed. And people in his constituency are getting the benefit. Okay, this is one aspect. So he is like a representative monitoring, is central government spending the funds properly? Are there local issues which are, not being addressed by these? Are there challenges? So he's monitoring the central government's funds spending in this constituency. Second, he is looking at constituencies challenges so that he can get new material to sort of take to the parliament. So he's meeting all the people. So there's Janta Darbar kind of thing where he meets regular people and he tries to find out what are their problems and how can those be solved. Most of the parliamentary constituencies are very big because they are national constituencies, so they are very big. So you have like, 50, 60 kilometers distance between some of the areas within these constituencies, sometimes 100 kilometers also. So sometimes meeting the MP is itself very difficult. So he has to have an office, he has to go regularly, meet with the regular, at a regular place, he has to be there. And for all this, he gets a special travel allowance. So he can make something like 34 trips a year, something, with first class railway fare or airfare for him and one other person. So like one other person, not for 34 times, but like, his secretary or his partner. So like something like 12 or 13 times he gets. So there is a lot of, he has money. I mean, government is giving him ample funds to execute these issues. And then he has got telephone calls and everything is free. So no problem on that. So he can work on those issues. Then his third role is to address the party side of it. His own party he has to work for. So that his, next time he is voted into power. So basically, in the manifesto, so because he is not voting against the party, he has to get his party in line with what the voters want. Correct? So there is a difference because see, suppose you, how to put this? Suppose you don't want wealth redistribution. Okay.
Right.
And you are a member of Congress. And Congress has promised wealth redistribution. So you are going to lose votes. So it is his job to ensure Congress does not promise something that his constituency will not like. So, but for that he has to, know what the constituency wants. Right?
Right.
I mean, that's the main thing. So this
Hmm.
is the issues. So he has to do it on three fronts. One is at a party level, at the constituency level, and one is for as a representative of the central government in the constituency. And then he has to fly back and then deal with his responsibilities in the parliament, which is to read the bills, ask the questions, what
Vote
are
against
the
bills.
issues, and then vote according to party.
Hmm. Also, he plays an
But then,
important role.
you know,
Yeah,
hmm,
I was saying he plays an important role while electing. Like there are elections which happen inside the parliament where only MPs vote, right, for certain
exactly.
posts. So he's like, can you give some examples of what which posts only these people vote? I think it's the president.
President,
Hmm.
president is the main.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So state legislatures and national legislatures, which is the parliamentarians, both vote for, you know, presidential elections, which is the main. They also vote for various nominate members to various committees.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Those kinds of things are there. There are various committees within the parliament also. So there is a national law and judiciary committee. There is special committees which are formed to investigate certain new proposals or laws that need to come up. So in fact, you should. Why don't you tell everyone how to analyze the performance of the MP?
Okay, so there's an interesting website called prsindia.org. It's sort of a database of all the elected MPs, all the parliamentarians, and it also has a database of all the bills which were introduced in the parliament, which were passed by the parliament, and it has a short brief about that bill. And also it updates the status of the bill, like is it introduced, is it passed, is it still pending, etc. So it is a very informative website for all those who want to know more about parliament functioning and the bills and the laws passed through the parliament, which are currently in the parliament, etc. Coming to the point of analysis of a MP, when like this is a short exercise which everyone must do before voting, is that when you are planning to vote, like whenever there is elections going on, just go through this website, and there is a section where you can find your MP, like search your MP, and his profile will be popped up. Like you can see all the details of that particular MP of the particular constituency. You can see the attendance of that MP, like how many times he visited the parliament and he was active in the parliament, how many questions he asked, how many debates he participated in. So through all the, and the data is available and very in a easy to understand format through bar charts, pie charts, etc., so that everyone can understand easily. So just go through it. It will hardly take you 5 minutes to search your MP and go through his performance in a like brief manner. Uh, Through that, it gives you an idea about what your MP did in past 5 years, uh, your elected MP, and then you can also go through profiles. Like this data won't be available here, but you just do a Google search of other candidates who are standing against this elected MP, who are from other political parties. Just do a Google search, just get an idea of who he is, what's his educational background, what has he done till now, etc. And then you can compare all of these candidates and decide whom to vote for or not to vote. Like go for nota, not to vote. Go vote if you want. Vote for nota, but that's fine. I won't recommend vote nota, but still, if it's your choice, please go ahead. But do vote. Yeah.
So one of the things, like he said, just attendance is one part. Questions, you can go through different kinds of questions that they have raised. And has
Hmm.
your question been raised, you have to track that also. If you have asked your MP, write to your MP. See, in India, we don't write to our MPs, but there's a very important thing that you can do while he is, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. who you have voted for. If your MP is there, you have to write to him. You have to, send a detailed letter saying that this is the issue, and keep pestering. And then you can check on PRS whether such questions have been raised. And if you give him a proper formatted question, then actually it helps the MP also, because MP wants to ask questions so that his performance rating goes up. It's like classroom only. If you think MPs don't work, it's like, what is my rank? They also track. So if he gets some ready-made question, he can ask in the parliament, he'll be very happy. Let me ask this question and see what is the answer. But for that, you also need to know whether this question has been answered before or not. So you can get an answer from a minister by forcing your MP to ask a question. So this is very important. So many people write blogs, including me. So if you have an issue that is important, complaining or whatever it is, send a copy to your MP, frame it in a way that he can ask the question in parliament, and see if he does ask. That will help you. So it's not just our job to vote, but also try to enforce that our issues are being heard in parliament.
Yeah.
So it will become very important. You can also send email to another MP also. It is okay, because ultimately if it's a national issue, he will raise.
Right.
So that is one of the important things, to force them to work.
Yeah. So the conclusion is, be an active citizen. Don't just firstly vote, go and vote, and after voting, just don't forget about your elected representative. He may be an MP or an MLA or a councillor. So that's it for this episode. Hope you liked this episode. Please do this. Go through the PRS India website, track your MP status, his work done, etc. Also go through profiles of other candidates, and make a conscious decision before you vote. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.